So note our next request is to change this to volume support. So while we are making this change, the ventilator will keep, oops, I put it in the wrong mode, there we go. I keep hitting above it, there we go, volume support. So while we're making the settings to change any mode, notice we continue on in PRVC or whatever the most recent mode was. So our first thing in volume support is to reduce this volume target on another dual control mode. So we're going to be in pressure support, but with a volume target. You can see that I've dropped that to 400, peep of 5. Rise time, we'll leave that until we see how the patient pulls, pressure trigger, and let's leave inspiratory cycle off as the flow cycle at which it's going to cycle off at. And then backup ventilation, well, we might leave that at 500. Let's say we're ventilating their spontaneous volume at 4 or 5 mils per kg. We may want them at 6 or 7 mils per kg for their backup. This is if they go apneic. Let's put our settings here. 1.2 seconds, okay? So now, here are our settings. When we switch over, this becomes a spontaneous mode, and I've just set these as the backup. So if the patient goes apneic, does not breathe for 20 seconds, based on our apnea setting, then they will go into those backup settings. So notice we're now in volume support. You have to use your finger to trigger the vent over here, or put on a filter, and you can breathe through the circuit. But you can see I'm triggering. So then when we come back over to the ventilator, notice it says to trigger it at, sorry, I went too far, to trigger it at 15 breaths per minute. Just our PEEP alarm, so it's not alarming on us. Our high respiratory rate, our low respiratory rate is also going to ring, because we have that set to 16. So let's put it down to 10. All right. We are at 15. I'm going to try and keep it there. It's hard to do. Okay, so you can see I'm around 15. Notice my peak pressure of 15, giving me my tidal volume of 400 mils. Now, what's going to happen when compliance decreases to 20, which is the next request on your lab? So think about it. We are using pressure support to hit our volume target of 400 mils. Ventilator disconnected there, so I just had to reconnect it. So when we decrease compliance, we're in a pressure limited mode of ventilation, so we expect volume to fall. Well, we have a volume target, so if our volume falls after compliance goes down, what's going to happen over the next few breaths? Our pressure support is going to go up. So watch what happens. You can see we're at 400 for our inspiratory volume right now. In a couple breaths, I'm going to change it, the compliance, and you're going to see first volume goes down, And then you're going to see peak pressures go up as we require more pressure support in order to deliver this breath. So right now, our peak pressure is 14, our PEEP is 5, so we're actually on a pressure support of 9, delta P of 9, to deliver our 400 mils. So watch what happens now when our compliance goes down to 20. So here's our first breath. Notice our breath fell from 400 down to 200. Now it went to 245, 280, 300, 320. You can see our volumes coming up because our pressure support's going up, right? Right now we're at 22 minus 5, so our delta P's gone from 9 to 17. Notice my respiratory rate's also up because I'm talking to you and thinking about that instead of thinking about my respiratory rate. So notice our delta P has gone from 9 to 18, right? Because our PEEP is still 5, so 23 minus 5 gives us a delta P of 18, and that 18 is now required to get us our tidal volume of 400. And that took probably 10 breaths, right? So we fell, as soon as our compliance halved, our volume halved, right? We went from 400 down to 200. And then over a number of breaths, as pressure titrated up, it was able to restore volume, but at the price of a much higher pressure. Delta P was 9 to begin with, 18, we halved compliance, so we needed double the amount of pressure to maintain volume.